I mean, Bert, this isn't the first time I think you've been at Google. In 2004, I remember when Google went public. It was the big IPO at the time because there hadn't been a lot of big IPOs in a few years. I thought Google did something fairly unique, given its dedication to its employees and their financial health, is that you were invited here, not here in the New York office, but in Mountain View, in California, to talk to the employee base about the markets and help prepare them for what it meant to have, wealth in the market. What was it like speaking to Google 2004?
Actually, my first time at Google, I had two main impressions. First of all, I've been an academic most of my life, but started my investment career as an investment banker in New York. And as I got into this business, we had a training program of about a half a dozen guys, and we were going to be given a lecture by the senior partner of the firm, and the air conditioning broke in the building. It was a building 20 Broad Street, right next to the New York Stock Exchange. And so we were all coat and tie, obviously, and I and the other trainees took their coats off. The senior partner then started to address us and said, it's okay when the air conditioning breaks that you can take your jackets off. But then looked at one of the trainees who had a short sleeve shirt on, but never, never, never take your coat off if you've got a short sleeve shirt on. So this is how I came into the business world. So you can imagine my first impression of going to Google, of what an informal place this was. People had T-shirts, shorts, flip-flops. People were throwing Frisbees inside the building. There were dogs running around. And, I couldn't help but think back to the beginning of my business career, and I say, oh, my God. I knew the West Coast was always less formal than the East Coast, but what a difference this is. And I also visited at the time because I had known him. I'd been on a couple of panels with him. Eric Schmidt, who was then the CEO, was a Princeton trustee. And here was Eric Schmidt in this little tiny office, and I was thinking of the partners' offices in the investment banks. And so the first impression was, my God, what a different world this was from the world that I grew up in. I think the second impression that I had, when you go into the Google headquarters, there's this huge map of the world with lights. And every time somebody does a search in whatever part of the world it is, a light goes off. So you're looking at this sort of map of the world, and lights are blaring at you. It's like a Christmas tree. And everywhere. I mean, it must have been 3 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo, but, Japan was all lit up. And, it occurred to me, what a worldwide phenomenon. And what an amazing company this is, and what a worldwide company it is. And it also, as kind of an economist who was interested in economic development, I thought, what a way of showing the parts of the world that are undeveloped, because as you looked at the map, the only dark part was between sub-Saharan Africa and southern Africa, and there were no lights going on there, and you realize how could you better show where the world is economically developed and where it isn't. So those are kind of my first two impressions. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. We're giving up parts of my Random Walk book, and at lunch, Mario Batali was there, and he was cooking for all the Googlers, and I traded books with him. And, it's one of my, you think of the unforgettable experiences in your life, and that was one of them, my first visit to Google.